that you're in Tunis, and we have a really house full here after watching the film with Christophe. So, hey, maybe we start by asking you, thank you for the crucial work you've been doing and the resolve you've taken. Maybe you can tell us a bit, Francesca, in the most recent moments, working on these multiple reports, what has been the biggest challenge you've had, both in terms of investigation of the reports, but also in terms of communicating these findings to the UN and the public?
Look, I think that there are general challenges. One is the fact of investigating the violations of a country which is, which is a sort of a protege of Western countries, and this is the first.
I think it's better if we just keep Francesca.
Yeah, but it's not. It's something on her side that the network might be.
It does Francesca.
Yes, just Francesca.
Let me try to see how
We don't have to see each other.
Yes, there we go. This will work probably.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, but now it's me. Hopefully it will show Francesca if I highlight her. Sorry guys, this is always a challenge with Zoom.
No, I'm sorry that I've been sick.
Okay, do we?
And I've been speaking all day non-stop, so my throat is resenting it. So basically I was saying the challenge I face, first and foremost, is of a person whose mandate is investigating the violations of a state that, unlike all others that special rapporteurs investigate, Ethiopia, Sri Lanka, or Iran, or Afghanistan, this is Israel. This is the state that is considered by Western state one of us. So this is the first challenge that I really have to be extra solid, extra robust in my analysis, because there are there are extra checks and a sort of a presumption of inaccuracy in anyone who investigates Israel's conduct. The other challenge is really psychological. It's extremely painful for someone who comes from our part of the world and has the privilege not to be exposed to systematic violence as the Palestinians or many other people in the world, for sure, but the Palestinians are quite unique because they continue to endure the violence of a state that is considered part of the Western civilization, and I don't say Western civilization with any sense of pride, and therefore there is a huge sense of dehumanization that is inflicted on the Palestinians, and it's extremely painful because when you see all this injustice, you become involved. You want to stop it, and especially when you become the chronicler of a genocide. I say, to explain to people what a genocide is, genocide does to a people what rape does to a body. It takes away something that is so intimate to the people. It's the intention to destroy a group as such shouldn't be allowed. Not just, it's difficult, as people say, it's difficult to prove in genocidal intent. Yes, but because it should be difficult to commit a genocide in the 21st century, right? And so it's been really psychologically consuming to observe, to document all this violence and be also accused for telling it, these are the general challenges. So I've been accused of horrible things, from anti-Semitism to being a supporter of terrorism, being anti-Israeli. No, I'm nothing of this. I just want Israel to behave in line with the international law, because this is my mandate as a UN person. The other thing is that each report has presented different challenges. For example, documenting the work of corporations has been extremely challenging because this was not even really my cup of tea. And still today, I keep on investigating the business sector, and the legal framework is very, very clear to me. And it's very complicated though to understand and to document what businesses do, because they are so smart and in finding surreptitious way to circumvent the law. While member states violate international law with impunity and they don't even make excuses, businesses try to camouflage their action, you know. And then, of course, for example, the report on children has been extremely challenging because I really investigated the situation of children by talking to children for 2 months. Every 3 days I had, and then the report probably the most potentially traumatizing one, and I'm still coping with the effects of this. It's my last investigation on torture. It's been brutal. So you see that it's a range of challenges.
Francesca, can you tell us a bit about the most recent report, because it has been just coming out now, and what the reaction has been to that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm shocked. I keep on telling people I'm shocked by the little attention, the little attention and response that my report on torture has received, because torture is really the hallmark of this genocide, like the machetes have been the hallmark of the genocide in Rwanda, or the concentration camp have been the hallmark of the genocide of the Jews and Roman Sinti and the others. Because, Israel has an extremely brutal Israeli army, protected by the legislative system, sheltered and supported by the executive, and with the judiciary looking away. I mean, the destruction of Gaza has happened under our eyes. Israel has been, in the name of self-defense, Israel has been allowed to level Gaza almost to the ground, and to give nearly, now there are 1,900,000 Palestinians quarreled in 50 square meters of land, which is a wasteland of rubble and human remains and infested by rats who are attacking the survivors. I mean, it really pains me. And they've described this as a torturous environment. It's a torturous environment what Israel inflicts on the Palestinians in the Gaza Strip, in the West Bank, continuing to bomb, to destroy, to leave people homeless, torching their trees. What is this? It's such an enormity that you need to understand it in its complexity. And the Israeli leaders say that they want the land. It's incredible. So it's not even that they hide their intentions. And still, I'm telling you, this is not even the worst. Because if you see how in defenseless people, because I understand, I don't understand it, I don't justify, but Israel says, okay, I bombed this hospital because it was used as it was responding to the logic of human shield, and there were military operations there. I mean, they can really cheat us, they can really trick us into believing that there was a justification. But what is the justification? What is the self-defense of raping men and women with metal objects, with dogs, with knives, gang raping, and over and over and over again, thousands of people. This is the thing, I mean, the bestiality that has been unleashed against the Palestinians detained, 20,000 people, now half of them are still in jail. I mean, is it possible that these human beings are so dehumanized that I'm telling you, I've been reading the testimonies of the Palestinians who were telling, I've had soldiers ejaculating in my anus. I've had people throwing food and asking me, like soldiers throwing food on the floor and asking me to lick it. Is it not enough to be horrified and to cut all, I mean, I'm not asking to bombard Israel, I'm just asking to cut ties with Israel, to recall the ambassadors, I'm just asking to see the Palestinians. And instead of this, I have to defend myself. from the aggressions of member states. This is the thing. It's a world that today is divided into two: those who want this genocide and those who don't want its genocide.
Thank you, Francesca. We have a number of questions from the audience that I'm taking on my phone, so I'm going to just try and select a few, but it'll be the one that's a bit personal. It's the person is asking, what gives you the strength to keep going despite all of this?
What alternative do we have? Seriously, do we have an alternative? Do we want to live our life in the hands of these predatory elites that control everything? I mean, we think that we are free, but we are only free to choose where to go on holiday and what to buy and not to buy. If we want to go to the university or not. This is what we can choose. Because we can't even say that we are free to say what we want. Palestine is the test that proves that we are not really free. I mean, today, I feel like sometimes that me and all the others who are part of this human rights movement, the human rights defenders in the UN and outside the UN, it's like walking in the storm, trying to keep tight to us what is most precious. I know that if we drop it, if we drop that creature that is the faith I have in humanity, if we drop it, we will not find it anymore. This is what I keep on doing, what I'm doing, and I don't want to be alone. This is why I get upset when people cherish me for what I do, but they don't do the same or half of it or 1/10 of it, because this is our responsibility. It's your responsibility not to buy Israeli products, because in the name of those, or to buy Israeli services, it's your responsibility to make sure that Europe cuts ties with Israel. Europe is about to renew its association agreement with Israel. This is a shame. It was a shame the moment Europe entered this agreement, because Israel has been violating human rights and international law since even before the agreement was entered into. I don't want to live in a place where profits count more than human lives, they count more than children. This is the thing, ultimately. 2 days ago, I was talking to a group of Israeli parliamentarians and lawyers and activists who are saying, please help us, why Europe doesn't stop. I mean, we're trying to stop this thing from inside. Our society has gone crazy. And we can be arrested for anything. Of course you can, of course, because I've said it all along. Israeli and Palestinian human rights organizations have said it all along. This is the boomerang effect of colonization. It's the practices that have been experimented in the occupied Palestinian territory are getting into Israel right now. But the same thing is happening to us. We are going through the Israelization of our societies. Germany, France, Italy, the UK. I don't know how is the same situation for you, but I'm talking of countries where protesters have been beaten, have been arrested, have been accused of terrorism and anti-Semitism. And so you see, and we are all under increasing surveillance and increasing militarization. This is what I call the Israelization of our societies. So we need to resist all together. We have an obligation to see. We cannot keep on enjoying and being numbed by our privilege, because our children might not enjoy it unless we belong to the 60,000 people who alone control the wealth, 3 times the wealth of the 40th bottom of population of the world. So 40% of the world inhabitants control 1/3 of the wealth of 60,000 people. Can you believe it? These are the multinationals, corporations, oil corporations, military industry, extractive industry, big finance, and big tech. Voila.
What?
I'm going to ask you 2 questions back to back, and you can decide how to address them. One is from Dietmar, who says, what concrete changes would you propose to the way the UN operates and is created so that it takes the actual role of preventing conflicts and crimes against humanity? That's number 1. The second question is, how do you see the obligations of the Genocide Convention applying to state agencies in institutions like museums and mainstream media?
So the first, I will answer the second question first. Actually, I will answer them together. In order to, the UN needs to go through a transformation, not reform. I've been advocating, I've been saying, if it's not out of this genocide that we have a decolonized multilateralism, what else? Terry, I need the plan, sorry. What else? In the sense that the UN should start by considering itself as an organization of equals. This is not the case. You know, the other day I was reading an article that was saying, you know why the Korean War, the Iraqi War, the Libyan War, or the Vietnam War only name one state, and state unlike other conflicts like Russia, Ukraine, because there is always the US behind it. And the United Nations today is suffering so much for the arm twisting of the United States, which clearly under the Trump administration has reached its climax. But the US has always been like this, proposing an imperialist foreign policy toward Latin America, toward the Middle East. And what's happening in the, actually not the Middle East, East Asia, West Asia. What's happening to West Asia today is the realization of Greater Israel. I mean, the human rights community has said it, I've said it for 3 years, what starts in Palestine will not stop in Palestine. So I think that the only possibility to reform the UN is by reforming, like by democratizing for real our systems, starting from the constitutional democracies, because you in the Scandinavian Peninsula or us in the rest of Europe have definitely more responsibility than people who live under dictatorship. And we need to use our privilege. We need to use our rights, because you need to check where your pension funds put your money, whether your banks have investment in the military industry. You need to boycott all goods, not just the goods connected to the violations in Palestine. It starts from there, but then there is look at Congo. We need to change the economic system because it's a predatory war. And sooner or later, it will attack our countries as well. And then, of course, the United Nations should, first of all, they should have the courage to name the genocide. Because, until now, it's the Commission of Inquiry, it's independent experts, it's special rapporteurs who have denounced the genocide. The United Nations are still checking where their feet are. This is the reality. From the leadership to the others, while there are staff members complaining and protesting, and the United Nations should be the first one to clear its payroll from anything that has to do with Israeli occupation. I mean, let's check, check this, the United Nations buy products from NBIT system? Yes or no? This is the thing. Or the United Nations should also be more assertive toward the big tech. So it's about walking the talk today. It's really, the genocide is a Rubicon. There is a one side and another. There is a past and a post. We are not in the post, we are in the interregnum. And it's a phase of historical acceleration where we are determining the law as it will apply tomorrow. So far, the law is being shrunk. The law is being violated. If we want it not to be the case, we need to stand against these abuses. And I'm afraid I need to leave because I'm in between meetings and interviews today.
Thank you, Francesca. Yeah.
Thanks so much for having me. I think I'm pleased to
Thank you.
See you soon, I hope. Bye-bye.